So today I'll be covering how to complete the week 5 challenges crazy quickly, starting with the first challenge, which is to search 7 chests over at Sweaty Sands. Now you're skydiving down, if this is your first time here and you want to learn how to complete your challenges fast, get better at Fortnite quickly and improve at all sorts of Fortnite things, be sure to subscribe with notifications so you don't miss out on anything, and help me get to my dream of 30,000 subscribers. Honestly, that would help me out a ton. This challenge is incredibly simple and incredibly easy to complete as long as you follow this very simple chest route. Of course, complete it in Team Rumble. No! Okay, you don't want for that to happen. We're gonna go over this chest route in reverse, if that's okay. You don't want that to happen, but complete it in Team Rumble to be safe. So the first chest, you probably all know this one, down over here in the lobby of the building. Also have an upgrade bench, which will be useful for a later challenge. Then after that, you're gonna go up to the second floor. There'll be a chest right over here on this bed. I'm afraid my team is going to take a few of the chests, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. Then after that, there's a chest right over here, chest number 3 on this floor right over here. So then after this, go all the way up to the 4th floor or 5th floor for our next chest, but there's nothing here. There's nothing here. I knew that beforehand totally. Did want to make sure, but yes, there's nothing here. So skip this one. I just wanted to show it to you all. Next chest is behind this wall. What is this? Chest number 4 or 5, I think. There'll be a chest right here. Chest number 4, I believe. And then right around the corner, we have chest number 5. Just like that, we are now done with this building. There is no chest on the roof. I know it shows on my visual hearing, but I think it's referring to this thing right over here. There may be one more chest in the building I may have missed. Okay, it looks like there's a chest under the stairwell. See the stairwell right over here? There's a chest directly under it. I actually didn't realize that when I was searching chests for this challenge initially, because I go into my team before to find this XP route. So 6 chests in this thing right over here. That is a great start. Now here you can go either to this house over here, or that area over there. Either way, there'll be one chest in each of them. Of course, if you did have a teammate land here and steal a few of your chests, you want to go to this route over here and loot some of these back houses to grab any chests that your teammates may have missed. Anyway, there'll be a chest right over here. My teammate did steal that. So because a teammate did steal a chest on this route, I'm just going to head over to this blue house right over here and go for, I suppose, our number 8 chest. It's always tricky because teammates do have a habit of taking chests for themselves. Anyway, because the teammate stole that chest, there'll be a chest right over here, which is our 8th chest technically, but 7th chest we're searching. So just like that, we will complete this rather simple challenge. Now the second challenge is to get 3 eliminations over at Retail Row. This challenge is really easy as long as I'm at Retail Row when it somewhat resembles a hot shop but doesn't need to be exact, simply because you can see players almost always go Retail Row. Now guy's gonna get this assault rifle, I see, but our goal here essentially is to get a gun early on, take advantage of our better drop than most other players, and of course any luck factors we get in the early game, and then push players who don't yet have a gun. You see we have 50 shield and a tactical shotgun with a hunting rifle early on, that easy in the game. I'm sure not everyone else has what's going on with this chair. Okay. I'm sure not everyone else has such a great start, so we'll take advantage of this. And if we land Retail Row 3 or 4 times, we're eventually going to get 3 eliminations just by taking advantage of players who don't have as good of a start as we do. So that's going to be our goal here. Now, I'm not going to go for this chest because I want to get eliminations. We need to get 3 eliminations for this challenge. So I want to complete this relatively quickly, but I see a guy right here. He's healing. Okay, it's right here. He's right here. Come on. He has a charged shotgun. Whew, that was close. If he hit me slightly up in the head with the shotgun, that would have been a problem. But he body shotted me, actually. You can tell by my 23 health I have. He hit me for 137, which is a body shot for a green charged shotgun. But because I had that 50 pot in the early game, I of course had an advantage, meaning that the body shot was not a one-shot kill for me. Okay, so I see another guy is right around here. Is he in the corner? Yep, he's in. He's right here. He's right here. Come on. Okay, he's dead. Let's go for the 3rd elimination. He's right around the corner. Let's go for the charge shotgun this time, and he's a bot. It's a bot. Or he's just, I'm sorry, I have to do it for this challenge. I felt bad doing it for them, but you can see, take advantage of those early game luck factors. 3 eliminations, regardless of your skill level. I'm not that great at this game. Should not be too hard to get, making this challenge overall pretty standard to complete. Following with the 3rd challenge, which requires a player to use a firefly jar or flare gun over at Misty Meadows. This challenge is actually pretty easy to complete as long as you're able to find, a firefly jar or a flare gun. Now, in terms of being able to find one of these as efficiently as possible, I'm just going to quickly run through a chest route that I did mention in my challenge guide from just a few weeks ago. I think it was the week 3 challenge guide. And yeah, so anyway, I'm just going to run through. I did miss the first chest here. I'm just going to go through in the game of Team Rumble, of course, because in Team Rumble, you don't need to worry about players, trying to kill you and everything. And I'm just going to run through, loot some chests, and it actually took me like 30 seconds to do. But there you go, there's a flare gun here. It really isn't that hard. Then, of course, just use the flare gun. And there you go, I used the flare gun at Misty Meadows. Also used a Firefly jar, of course. And really, as long as you do that, this challenge is pretty easy to complete. I mean, all the challenge does come down to is landing at Misty Meadows, running through a few chests, and then, of course, finding a flare gun or a Firefly jar. And then if you're not able to find one right over there, okay, let's hit this guy, because I'm going to let my teammate do his thing, but if you can't find one over in that house over there, you can, of course, find quite a few chests in this house, too. Okay, I'm burning myself, but there's a chest that'll spawn over here. No, right here, the one chest right there. Then there's another chest right there, and then right below, there's a final chest right over here. So, of course, if you don't find a flare gun, go to a few of these chests. I don't want to drag this on for too long. Anyway, just find a few chests at Misty Meadows. That's really all. This challenge is overall really easy to complete. So next we have the 4th challenge, which is land the yacht and finish top 25. Now this challenge is really simple, as long as you, of course, land the yacht. Now, you may remember a challenge just like this from last week's challenges. Of course, click the iCard if you want to watch that. But for a challenge like this, you want to land the yacht when it is a cold drop, so the bus went from around this direction. Not many players going there, maybe 1 or 2 like this guy. But what we're going to want to do here is, we're going to steal the chopper. Because, let's face it, we don't want to risk dying, getting shot from behind or whatever. So I'm just going to grab a gun to defend myself with. And I'm going to take my chopper. I hear a guy's close to me. This guy right over there, you can see. But I'm just gonna leave him. I'm just gonna ditch. Anyway, I'm just gonna go over here and find a hiding spot. In fact, you know what? I remember last week I said hide in the bridge close to Frenzy Farm. I say that we do the same for this round also. And not that many players go to these bridges, so I'm just gonna get out right here. Maybe grab a weapon like a hunting rifle. Of course, my chop is gonna be a little bit suspicious. Hopefully, no one will question that. Anyway, I'm gonna go to this area right over here. I'm gonna grab probably a tactical shotgun or something. Let's see, maybe there'll be a better place to hide, like let's jump into the roof or something. I don't know if I really can fit there. There are a lot of hiding spots, of course. There's, the truck, there's the cars, there's this little boathouse over here. But for the sake of keeping everything simple, I'm just gonna head into this little gas station right over here and just hide in the corner until there are 25 players left, which should only take about 2 or 3 minutes, because as you can see, players die off fast. Already a third of the lobby is gone, so it should only take a few seconds for there to be only 25 players left. Alright, so there we go. We placed in the top 25 just like that. The storm didn't catch us quite yet. So as you can see, all we gotta do is just hide for a few minutes. And just like that, placing top 25 really isn't that much of a challenge to complete. So now we have the 5th challenge, which is to catch a fish 5 times at Craggy Cliffs, or to phrase it differently, catch 5 fish over at Craggy Cliffs. Now you may wonder, Craggy Cliffs is gone, it's no longer a named location. Well, apparently it's still here, except this time, it is now a landmark. Now doing all this is relatively simple. The only issue is that I don't see any fishing rods that spawn in those little fishing barrels around Craggy Cliffs that usually spawn by docks and stuff, because it's all flooded. So what we're going to have to do instead is just what I did here, find a chest like this one right over here, and get a harpoon gun. It really should not be that hard to find. Then finally just make your way over to fishing holes like this one right over here, and then fish through them. I'm going to throw 1, 2, 3 fish there. That's pretty generous to get from one hole. Got a bunch of floppers too. Those aren't that bad. But of course, since fishing rods are harder to find, a harpoon gun is probably the best, considering it's even faster too. So then just find these fishing holes. There's maybe 2 or 3 of them that'll spawn around Craggy Cliffs. As mentioned, obviously just throw your harpoon gun or whatever into them. It's not that hard. The storm is coming now, but I think that you all get the point. But really, just fishing on Craggy Cliffs, there isn't too much to it. It's a relatively straightforward challenge. Not so surprisingly, we are now on the 6th challenge, which requires a player to upgrade a weapon over at Salty Springs. And this challenge is actually surprisingly easy, for you're obviously going to, want to land at Salty Springs, ideally in a game of Team Rumble, to make sure you're being safe, and also to give you a few mats to start out. As you can see, I have 150 wood, brick, and metal, and on top of that, harvesting materials is, I believe, a bit faster in Team Rumble. Anyway, of course, you're going to want to get a weapon. The blue rarity is the lowest tier of weapon that actually is in Team Rumble. And once you have a weapon, you'll find an upgrade bench right in this house towards the north side of Salty Springs, right over here. And as you can see, 150 wood, brick, and metal to upgrade the weapon. In fact, it is actually what we start with in Team Rumble, so you don't even need to worry about harvesting materials at all. Of course, you'll need to do a little bit if you decide to upgrade a bit of a higher tier weapon. Anyway, just like that, graded our weapon over here at Salty Springs. I mean, as long as you know where this upgrade bench is, this challenge is incredibly simple to complete. So after we have the 7th challenge, which is to collect floating rings over at Steamy Stacks. This challenge is actually pretty easy, I know I say that a lot, but as long as you take advantage of these, of course, wind glider things, and of course, as long as you know where all these rings are. Now, I did purposely avoid going in this ring, just for the sake of demonstration, because the way that you really want to do these rings, of course, you can't do one while gliding down, is to head through these giant wind funnels, tunnels, whatever you want to call them, over here at Steamy Stacks. Just fly them all the way to the top, and you can grab these rings by going through them through glider. So first ring right here, it's right over here. We'll go through it with the glider. That'll count. It's not counting for me now because I'm pre-recording this video before the challenge come out, but that ring is right over here on the southeast side of Steamy Stacks. Then of course, once you've collected that ring, just head back into these wind funnels and you can fly up. Okay, what's going on? I did not mean to do that. We can go over and fly up to the next ring over here, which is a little bit further. It's right over here. I kind of messed that up. All right, there we go. Okay, now I can get this ring, but it's a little bit more challenging, so you got to be careful. But just fly through this ring. It is right over here, and you can find it right over here towards the west side, a little bit northwestish side of Steamy Stacks. And then of course head back to this wind funnel, whatever you want to call it. Again, hopefully it's not too hard to see in a storm, but the next ring is just right over here, really towards the corner of Steamy Stacks. Let's just go through it. You can see this is over by the northish side of Steamy Stacks, right off the back. And then the final ring is right over here. It's a little hard to see in the storm once again, but you can see it is right over this area over here between these other two rings, right over here once again towards the north side of Steamy Stacks, over in the water. But I'm going to die here because we got pretty unlucky with the storm rotations pretty far from the circle. But as you can see, as long as you know where those rings are, and of course without a doubt use those wind funnels to advantage to be able to glide through all of them, just like that, you will complete this rather easy and simple challenge. Now, if I'm helping you out and you want to learn how to complete your challenges fast, get better at Fortnite quickly, and improve at all sorts of Fortnite things, be sure to subscribe with notifications so you don't miss out on anything. And once again, help me get to my dream of 30,000 subscribers by clicking right here. And in front of the video, you can click here to learn how to get all of the build umbrella styles insanely quickly. Finally, support me, you can use code StormRanger and buy my merchandise by clicking here. But that's all I have for now, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.